Welcome back to Runaway Bay, number 1 oval, with the last game of the rounds being played here today between the Afghan Warriors and the Greenhills Giants. Afghan Warriors won the toss and decided straight away to bat, hoping to put a little bit of pressure and heat into the Greenhills Giants team before they have to bat. Like to thank Yenar Beer for being one of the sponsors of the World Championships this year. Yenar Beer, available at most places up here on the Gold Coast. Also, we'd like to have a shout out to Marty Blenman's wife Fiona and the 2 kids, Fletcher and Peyton, patiently waiting for this game to get underway. Fletcher's been ringing us up, letting the boys know that in the previous 2 games they weren't bowling wicket to wicket and pitching the ball up, which was very astute understanding from a young cricketer of 6 years old who's just beginning his career. So thank you for that, Fletcher. The boys have taken that on hand, and let's see how they play with it today. Conditions here at Runaway Bay today quite good. The heat, the clearing up of the rain yesterday overnight gave it a little bit of drying out. This morning play was started about 45 minutes late due to the forecast being no rain but requiring the pitch to be dried out. And by this afternoon it is now dried out and there's a lot of run in the outfield. So look to a lot of batsmen playing short if it's not on hit for boundary, and try to run 1s and 2s. They'll be hoping to get 2s and turns 2s into 3s even. Previous games have shown that 3s can be run here. It's a big oval. Opening bowler Dan Bailey for the Greenhills Giants. Good ball just on off stump. Pushed away for a single out into covers. Edris Hashmi, 286 matches, 281 innings, 7,947 runs. Average of 41.39 and a strike rate of 175, so he hits pretty well and he's got a lot of experience. Puts the ball out on the full to mid wicket and through for 4 runs. It's 4 runs to Mahib Hashmi. Moeeda Hashimi, 188 matches, 181 innings, 4,432 runs, average of 33, strike rate of 179. Also a powerful hitter. Dan Bailey coming into bowl. Puts it just outside off stump. Trying to tempt. And a dot ball. A little bit of line and length that Dan will be hoping to maintain here today. Once again in. Well pitched up ball. Putting a little bit of pressure on the Afghan Warriors early on with some tight bowling. Afghan Warriors looking around the field, seeing that there's 4 on the onside for the 3 over power play. Dan Bailey gets pulled away towards the fence. It's over the fence at 6 runs. It's a good start for the Afghan Warriors. 1 bad ball could be put away here. And after 1 over, Afghan Warriors are 1 for 11. Edris Hashimi 1 from 1. Mohib Hashimi 10 from 4. They won't like this, the Greenhills Giants. They don't want to be giving away boundaries early. That's good tight bowling. Also good batting though at the end there. Looks like the new bowler will be Stephen Ling for the Greenhills Giants. That's Travelling, the captain's uncle. And he'll be trying to tell Stephen to get the ball going. Wicket to wicket. Pitch it up, Steve. Hit the stumps. Steve just marking out his run there now. Greenhills Giants have a forward square leg. Deep mid wicket, deep mid on. And an extra cover on the offside. And a wide to start off with Steve. After a couple of games, He'll be a little bit tired. His body will be a little bit sore. But he's one of those bowlers that can actually try and concentrate and redirect the ball each time. A little bit better, but still too short. You don't want the ball short on this field. Anything ever pushed along the ground can be driven away for a 4. And it's through extra cover for 4 runs. It's good batting by the Afghan Warriors. Idris Hashimi moves on to 6 from 3 balls. Line and length, that'll be the main thing today. The wicket's hard. Anything short will actually sit up and be able to be pushed away by the Afghan Warriors. That's a better ball. Just pushed out into cut short cover. Frost fields it, throws it into Ling, the keeper. Good bit of fielding. They have a deep mid off also. So only 2 on the offside, but hoping that nothing can be cut down to third man or fine leg. Ling comes in again, once again, too short, too wide. Frost, misfield. Lucky he's quick, but still 3 runs. With this outfield running so fast, there's going to be a plethora of runs out there. All these Afghan Warriors, hopefully they'll be hoping that if they're fit and strong, they'll be able to turn these 1s into 2s, 2s into 3s. Changing the field. A deep cover on the boundary now. And a short forward point. Ling in the bowl. Just dropped on the offside. Still going to run too. It's a big oval here at Runaway Bay. And you need someone back on the bowler in these sort of situations too. Good backing up by Dan Bailey. Saved a run. Every run that's going to be saved here is crucial. Both teams looking to get inside the top 16. It's a better ball. If you can maintain that line and length on the wicket, pushed out to short mid wicket. Well fielded once again by Dan Bailey. Returns it into Travis Ling, the keeper. Well picked off by the keeper. End of the second over. Afghan Warriors, none for 24. Idris Hashimi, 11 off 6. Mahib Hashimi, 13 off 5. Stephen Ling, none for 13 off his first over. I don't think he'll be really very happy with that. He'd like to get a little bit better figures, and hopefully he can improve in the next couple of overs. Dan Bailey just wiping his hands on the grass due to the humidity. Hands will be sweaty. He doesn't want the ball slipping out. Bowls a good line of spin at times, Dan. Tosses it just above the eyes. Hoping to entice the batsman to come down the wicket. If he can get his pitch and turn, a stumping will be on the cards. Good ball, tossed a bit too high. Pushed out to mid-wicket. Varley picks it up. Varley's got a good arm. This is going to put pressure on him. This is a lot of pressure, but no, it's safe. 2 runs. Good fielding, good return. Good pick up by the bowler. Afghan Warriors batsman very lucky to get in there. Bailey coming in again. Just that length. Once again tossed it a bit too high. Jesse Varley out there at mid-wicket. Just picks it off for 1. Varley's very quick in the outfield. So anything in the air, if it's going towards him, he's sort of bowler fielder that will actually take these sort of chances. Varley changing his line length. Pushed out to deep extra cover. Just a single. Greenhills Giants will be actually having for some dot balls here. 1s and 2s are good, but if they can get a couple of dot balls. Bailey shorter and faster. Tried to change up ball. Didn't help. Frost gets to it. He's got a decent arm. And good return by Frost over the stumps at the bowler's end. Warriors looking comfortable at the moment. Barley, that's a better length. Better ball. Flicked off his pads. Down to fine leg. There's going to be a couple of runs there. And that's this field. Fielded by Stephen Ling. Returned into the keeper. 2 runs by the Afghan Warriors. Afghan Warriors now none for 32 off 3 overs. Edris Hashimi is 12 off 7. Mahir Hashimi 20 off 9. Cruising along at the moment. Projected score will be about 160 if they maintain this. And they've got all the wickets in hand, so it could actually get out of hand later on if they maintain these wickets, because they'll be able to start playing some big shots and hopefully getting a lot more boundaries and even over the boundary. Tom Frost for the Greenhills Giants, coming on to bowl his first over of the tournament, I believe. Frost in. That's a good length and a good line. That'll still be pushed away down to mid-on, but only the single. Tom Frost from Maitland does a lot of umpiring in the Maitland LMS competition. He's been doing it for a couple of years. Also likes his LMS playing. Another good ball by Frost. No runs. That's a dot ball. That's exactly what the Greenhills Giants will require. Frost needs to maintain this line and length at the moment. He's putting a bit of pressure back towards the Afghan Warriors. Frost once again approaching in, trying to maintain that same ball. Gets hit away to the leg side, and that's well struck. And with the fast outfield here, it's into the fence for 4 runs. Frost's got to get that out of his head when he gets hit for a 4 and go back to what he bowled earlier in the over. Tom Frost, 54 matches, 136 overs, 25 wickets at 47.24. Economy rate of about 6.2. So he can be a handled bowler, Frost. And that was a bit short, but that's okay. Out to deep mid wicket. They're going to go for 2 once again on Varley's arm. This could be interesting. 2 runs to the Afghan Warriors. Well fielded by Varley. Returned to the keeper Ling. And good backing up there by David Cox. Frost in again. He's hitting a fair length and a fair line. He's trying to tempt him. And if he tempts him and he hits it high in the air to Varley, Varley's quick. He'll take those sort of chances. Just short of him. Single to the Afghan Warriors. They go to 4 overs, none for 40. Tom Frost, a good over there. Dan Bailey resuming, none for 19 off 2 overs. Projected score sitting up around the 150 mark. So that's a good tight little over from Frost. Both these batsmen look set now. We don't want to see any fireworks. And that's too high. And that's pulled down to fine leg. For 6 runs. He's hit it well. He's got out of the middle of the bat. And that's costly. It's a big 6 back with a square. Dan needs to adjust his line here very quickly. Things may get away from the Greenhills Giants if they start bowling these sort of balls. Must hit the pitch. Both these batsmen seem to have a lot of power too. So that's another reason to be pitching the ball in the right spots. Good line and good length required here by the Greenhills Giants. That's a good ball. Hit into the gap though. He's placed it very well. It's actually beaten the field. Out through mid-wicket for 4 runs. Placement was excellent there by the batsman. Mohib Hashimi moves on to 37 off 15. This is one thing that the Greenhills Giants won't be happy with, letting the batsman get away on him. Bowls an off spinner. Down to fine leg. Once again, a long chase. And that outfield's actually so quick. So very, very quick. Putting a lot of pressure on the fielders as well as everyone else. And that's 4 more runs. The Giants won't be happy with this. Things are getting away from them. Bailey in again. Tossed it up, and that's a good ball. It's been pushed out. Backward a square, just a single. Travis Ling, the keeper, runs out, restricts it to a single. Throws the ball back to the bowler, Dan Bailey. This is excellent batting by the Afghan Warriors. Very conscientious batting. They're looking, they're taking their chances. A bad ball's being dispatched. A good ball's being respected, and they're picking off ones and twos. Bailey, that's a better ball. Outside edge, out square of the wicket. They're looking at 2, but Cox moves in like a gazelle. Picks the ball up, restricts them to a single. Afghan Warriors, 5 overs, none for 56. It's a great start by them. Idris Hashimi, 14 off 9. Mahib Hashimi, 42 off 17. Going along at a really good clip, Mahib. And looking comfortable out there as well. This fixture today, I believe, has been made into a 15-over-a-side competition due to the washouts and trying to cram as many games as they could into today to be able to get the 3rd round of the competition completed. Idris Hashimi on strike. Jesse Varley bowling. A little bit of off spin. Gets dispatched out to mid-on. They've taken the 1, they're going to take the 2nd. As I said, this is a really big oval. If they can take the speed off it, if they don't hit it, they'll obviously get 2 runs. Varley, the quicker ball, a good ball. Idris Hashimi tried to go back, couldn't get there, came back forward and just defensive push into the offside. Smart batting by the Afghan Warriors. Into the air, it's going to be short of the fieldsman and beats him, but well stopped. Looks like they've reduced it just to 2 runs. Excellent fielding, great fielding there. Varley in again. Just short of a length, that's going to be pulled away, and that's not a good spot to be bowling. Steve Ling dives, cuts it off. Reduces it just 2 runs. So that's good fielding by Steve Ling. These hot conditions seem to be taking their toll on the Greenhills Giants early on. And they won't be happy. Farley, a quicker ball again. Gets dispatched. Backward a square. Good fielding by Cox. But they'll still get 2 runs. Cox returns into the keeper. 1 ball remaining. No, that's the end of the over there for Varley. Daniel Bailey, none for 35 off 3. Stephen Ling, none for 13 off 1. Tom Frost, none for 8 off 1. Jesse Varley, none for 7 off 1. The economy rate's been a little bit expensive, and with wickets in hand, Afghan Warriors will be taking advantage of this later on. Greenhills Giants, I think, really, really need a wicket here. And Jared Diplock has come on to bowl, the athlete. Hasn't been playing much cricket lately, but bowls a heavy ball, Jared Diplock. At times it can hit the wicket and spit off, but he's got to be aware that his line and length are a problem with not playing a lot of cricket. And in he comes. That's a decent start. He's dispatched out to mid-on, picked off by Varley, returned in. Just the 1. Mahib Hashimi only needs a 4 to get to his 50. He's hit it, but it's gone straight up in the air. But I don't think no one will get to that. Diplock's under it. but only one. Just couldn't quite get to it. And there's a slight breeze here, so that would have helped it drift away from him. Diplock back to his mark. That's a good ball, but it's been dispatched out to deep extra cover. And that's going to be 4 runs. So even though there's some good bowling, there's some excellent batting here by the Afghan Warriors. They're showing no fear. Jared Diplock, 11 matches, 40 overs, 8 wickets, average of 38. Economy 7. Best 2 for 24. So he's done quite well, especially in his home state of New South Wales and Newcastle competition. He'll be happy to try and do that sort of stuff here. Good ball once again out to deep extra cover. Both fielders run round, and an excellent fielding by Tom Frost and a great return. Restricts them to a single. That's the sort of fielding that they'll be requiring for the rest of this innings. Idris Hashimi, 23 off 15. Mahir Bashimi dispatches it deep. Caught. And he's been caught. They've taken the extra run. They've done the steal and got 2 runs. But that's an excellent catch there by Dan Bailey. Dan's been playing well at the outdoor lately, and his fielding has improved out of sight. And he took that with no worries. Afghan Warriors batsman realised that it was high and hard, and he's quick. He ran the first, looked, and seen that he could get back, and really he had to get back. You can do the steal, but you must return to the bowler's end to get the 2 runs. So Afghan Warriors, after 7 overs, are reduced to 1 for 72, but more wickets will be required by the Greenhills Giants. If they've got a good middle order, they can take a toll on the Greenhills Giants here, but that was a great catch. Idris Hashimi now 23 off 15. The new batsman, Ahmed Jawid. Projected score is still up around the 150s. Jesse Varley back on the bowl. Pulls it down a little bit tight. Fielder coming in fast, but the batsmen are keen to take him on, and they do. And 2 runs. Dan Bailey had to come in from the deep mid-wicket boundary there. And soft hands must have held it back so it didn't go as fast to him. Varley in now. Dispatched towards Dan Bailey again, but this one's bigger and higher and longer. And it's 6 runs. A maximum to Idris Hashimi, who's under 31 off 17. Greenhills Giants were starting to reel that in a little bit, but you can't let them get away, especially with big boundaries. Varley tries the quicker ball, and it's a wide down leg side. Tried the quicker, well kept by the keeper Travis Ling. Picked it up earlier that it was wide, picked it up that it was low and fast. Varley hit again, dispatched towards the mid-on boundary. Fieldsman down there just misses it, and it's going to be 4 runs. Idris Hashimi moves on to 32 off 18. 36 off 19. Varley won't be happy with this. Doesn't like getting dispatched at the best of times. But they're picking him up quite easy. Although they are hitting it in the air, if they don't get across the boundary, there's some good fieldsmen out in the deep. Varley, one batsman, all he can do was hit it straight back to the bowler. Varley fields it off his own bowling. Varley hit away towards mid-wicket. Hasn't struck it that well. And because of that, they'll be able to get 2 runs. Because all the fieldsmen are on the boundary on the leg side. This field's so quick you need to have them on the boundary. But that also gives the opportunity for the opposition to be able to run 2 runs. Afghan Warriors, 8 overs, 1 for 87. Jesse Varley now, none for 22 off 2 overs. Idris Hashimi, 38 off 21. Ahmed Jawid, yet to face a ball. Change of ends. There'll be 8 overs from that first end and 7 overs from the second end. Beautiful day here. I'd like to thank the NR beer, the Clayton's beer, the beer that you have when you're not really having a beer. World sponsors of the World Championships this year up on the Gold Coast. We're thankful to have them. Thanks very much. Jared Diplock, changing ends, 1 for 9 off 1. He'll be happy to keep it there or even lower. Jarwood picks it off his toes, out square, just the 1. Jarwood, 316 matches, 304 innings, is 8,600 runs, 42 average, strike rate of 212. So it's also a big hitting batsman. And he's gone straight down the ground. Varley at mid-on, quick, moves to the ball, returns it in, only the single. So they're not bad balls. They're not wicket-taking balls, but you're trying to restrict the batsman. To the offside, into the gap. But cut off by Marty Blenman. Marty returns it. Only the single. Good fielding by Blenman there. Diplock in. Hit back over his head. This one's straighter. That's a good shot. 2 straight and pierces the field. Straight over the bowler's head for 4 runs. And that's one thing the Afghan Warriors are doing really, really well. They're finding the gap between fieldsmen, not hitting it to fieldsmen, which would restrict them to just 1 or 2. They're going between the field and picking off the 4. Diplock in again. Not a bad ball. It's going over the same place, but this one, a bit quicker, a little bit shorter. Drops safe, straight over the bowler's head. And because it plugged in the ground, they've run 2. So good reply there from Jared Diplock. 1 for 18 off 2. Edris Hashimi, 45 not out off 24. Ahmad Jawid, 2 off, not out, 2 off 2. The departed batsman Rahib Hashimi for 47. Greenhills Giants, I think they'll need a couple of more wickets. Try and rein this in. If they don't, it can be a score that they'll find very, very hard to chase, even on this field. And 2 short there. But it's been dispatched for a maximum. Tommy Frost back on. Dispatched first ball. Trying to drag the ball down too quick. By doing that, you just sit it up. Batsman inside it. Hooked it for a 6. Sitting here commentating today with one of the officials, Hasim. He's doing all the computer work and he's got me doing all the talking. Frost in. That's a better ball. And it's bowled him. Excellent ball. Great reply from Frost. He really wanted that and he needed it. He got it. Pitched it up. Middle and off. Yorked him. Took off stump. Excellent bowling by Frost. Reduces, well, I wouldn't say reduces, but the Afghan Warriors now 2 for 102 off 9.2 overs. So still going along at a good clip. And if they've got batsmen back in the sheds, it's not going to worry them too much. They've lost a couple of wickets. Edris Hashimi sitting on 45 off 24 balls. So he's only 5 runs away from having to retire and possibly come in later if he gets the opportunity. But I don't think the Greenhill Giants will be real keen on seeing the side of him coming back if he does get to his 50. And they'll be actually hoping to stop him from getting that 50. Frost will be happy with that effort. He needs to keep doing that. More of that means more wickets. Short of a length. He pulled it down to mid-on. They're looking for 2, but now he's been sent back. and that's the right person to send back because Varley was onto that. Saifullah Hashimi, 110 matches, 87 innings, 1,200 runs, at an average of 19, strike rate of 121. So he's someone that's going to push the ball around by the looks of it. Straight back over the bowler's head and piercing the field. Good fielding there by Varley. Restricts it to just a single, I believe. Good return by Varley. Frost retrieves the ball from the throw. Frost in. It's another good ball, and it's no run. That's an excellent ball. Frost will be thinking about if he could do a few like that. That'll come in very handy. Projected score, current run rate 154, 6 and over 134, 8 and over 144, 10 and over 154. And the Giants won't want to see that. They'll be trying to restrict it as much as possible. Great over by Tom Frost there. Marty Blenman coming under bowl. Hasn't bowled yet in the tournament. Not sure what he actually bowls. But hopefully he can keep it tight. Just dropping too short of a length at the moment. They can improve their bowling, but they've got to do it quick before this gets away on them. Blenman down leg side for a wide to start off with. I know he hasn't been bowling, so he'll be a little bit rusty. Hopefully he can adjust his line and length here. Oh, and he's put it right in the slot. That's a big maximum. That's a 6 over mid wicket. That was well picked up. Idris Hashimi, 53 runs. He'll have to retire now. Idris Hashimi, 53 off 27, a great innings, and that's exactly what the Afghan Warriors would have wanted. Greenhills Giants will be happy to see the back of him, but he can still resume if they lose 5 or 6 more wickets, and he can come back in. 10.1 overs. Afghan Warriors, 2 for 111. Marty Blenman, none for 7 off just the one ball at the moment due to the wide first ball. He'll be trying to fix that up, but he just put on the right length there. It seemed to be right in the wheelhouse. And Hashimi dispatched him. New batsman Anwar Hashimi. And that's put up in the spot. That's excellent bowling. Just pushed down the mid-off for a single. He'll be happy to stay with that sort of line and length, Marty. Blenman in once again. Another good ball. This one hasn't been dispatched as deep. Jesse Varley is there, and he's unfortunately dropped it and goes over the boundary of 4. That's unfortunate. He had to dive for that, and it just left his hands as his elbows hit the ground. So Afghan Warriors, they're starting to turn it on here. Marty Blenman, 6 matches, 4 overs, 2 wickets, average of 9.5, economy rate of 4.75, best of 2 for 14. Blenman in. And too short, pulled away. Pulled away for 2 runs. Well fielded. Steve Ling ran around there. Restrict them to 2 runs. They'll need a lot more of that. This scorecard's starting a little bit out of hand for the Greenhills Giants. Blenman in again. Dispatched out to mid-wicket. Only the single this time. David Cox fields, returns. Marty Blenman, none for 15 off 1 over. Won't be happy with that first couple of balls. He'll try and improve on that if he gets another bowl. Tom Frost, one of the wicket takers, back into the attack. Greenhills Giants now using the nominal field of deep point, deep cover, deep mid-off, deep long on, deep mid-wicket, and deep backward square. So Frost, if he gets a good ball and it's dug out, he's going to be chasing this himself. But he's like a little jackrabbit. Good start, good ball. He's got another one, I think. He has. He's bowled him middle and off stump. Clipped the stumps. Frost is happy. Real happy. He's been bowling well in the Newcastle competition at times. And I think he's starting to learn. Greenhills Giants very happy to see the back there of the batsman. Leaving Anwar Hashimi out there, 1 off 1. Afghan Warriors now 11.1 overs, 3 for 119. Frost, 2 for 16 off 2.1. And he'll be hoping to keep going with this. Projected score, still up around the 160s. And has been since the start. Greenhills haven't been able to rein this in. And they won't be too happy. Although, with 3 wickets down now, they might slow the Afghan Warriors down a little bit. But it's that sort of day where with wickets in hand, the pitch is hard, the outfield is lightning fast. New batsman Hamid Ahmed. Oh, not a bad ball by Frost, but still pulled down and on the leg side. He's got to get him away from there because there's no fielder around there. The fielder's going to have to run a long way to get this. And he's not going to make it. It's going to be a boundary. It's been a great over, but you can't pull the ball down leg side. Not when your fieldsmen all sitting square and in front of the wicket. You're putting a lot of pressure on the keeper and also those guys that are square. Afghan Warriors 11.1 overs, 3 for 119. Hamid Ahmed, 340 games, 331 runs. Oh, that's pulled away down to mid-wicket. No, it's mid-on. Luckily, Jesse Varley's there. Runs in, returns it to Frost. Frost needs to finish this over off well. Moves into bowl. No, he's gone for the quicker ball, but once again too short. He's lucky to get away with that. That could have been anything. They're looking at 2 runs because of the miss hit, and the fieldsmen all been on the boundary. That's allowed the Afghan Warriors to run 2 runs there. So 2 new batsmen. Anwar Hashimi, 3 off 2. Hamid Ahmed, 5 off 2. And straight back over the bowler's head. Seems to be an area that the Afghan Warriors are going to. And it's a good area because mid-on and mid-off are wide apart. Marty Blemon runs round. Picks the ball back from the pickets. Returns it back to the bowler. So Marty Blemon, none for 15 off 1. Jared Dicklock, 1 for 18 off 2. Jesse Varley, none for 22 off 2. Tom Frost, 2 for 27 off 3, I believe. Afghan Warriors 3 for 130 off 12 overs. 3 overs remaining. And there'll be a lot of fieldsmen out there that'll be feeling this heat. They've been doing a lot of running around. There's been some great batting by the Afghan Warriors. I'm sure that they think 130 runs at this time in the innings is highly acceptable. Steve willing to come back on. Steve's always struggled when he comes back on for his second spell. He only had the 1 over and none for 13 the first spell. So hopefully he stayed loose. But he's always struggled to come back on second spell. Puts it up and that's a better ball. Right up in the block hole. Batsman tried to pull it across the line. Didn't pick the line, didn't pick the length, got hit. If Steve can get those balls on the stumps and he doesn't pick the line and the length, Steve will hit. He bowls wicket to wicket. You miss, I hit. Just a bit short of a length. Been pulled. Back with a square. And that's 4 runs. Such a quick outfield here. Weather's beautiful. Clear skies. Slight humidity, which will be making it hot out there for them, but they've got no excuses. They've bowled in it. Afghan Warriors will need to bowl in this as well. Anwar Hashimi moves on to 7 from 3. Hamid Ahmed 9 off 4. Just short of a line and wide. That's well wide of the off stump. Well kept by the keeper Travis Ling. You can't afford to be given these wides because the next one will be worth 3. Ling moves in. Sees the batsman, and that's a good ball. Right up in the block hole. It's been pushed square, out through point. They're going to get 2 runs. Dan Bailey fields it. Quite good fielding by Dan Bailey. Restricts them to 2 runs. Ling moving in again. It's not a bad length. All he can do is volley that, and he hasn't got onto it, so they're going to be looking at 2. The batsman wanted it, but the non-striker got up the other end near the keeper and said, no, I can't make it back. So that's good fielding by Diplock, getting the ball in there, coming in fast. Ling moves in again. Put back straight over his head, and that's the area they seem to be picking off. They like that straight drive, straight over the bowler's head, but this time wasn't hit as well, and it'll be restricted to 2 runs. Marty Blenman fields it, returns it into the bowler. That's the end of the 13th over. Afghan Warriors 3 for 139. Stephen Ling none for 22 off 2. So with 2 overs to go, Travis Ling, the captain, is going to have to decide here who's going to bowl those last 2 overs. And with wickets in hand, it needs to be someone who's going to put the ball right up and put it in the right spot, because if they don't, they can be dispatched all over the ground. Jared Diplock's going to take the ball. And being the 14th over, this will be his last over. And then Travis has got to decide on who to bowl that last over. Diplock moves in, pitches it up, but that's wide. It's a wide ball. Not the start he wanted. Afghan Warriors 13 overs, 3 for 140. You can't be gifting runs here today. Diplock moves in again, and that's wide down leg side. And that was a bad wide down leg side. He was lucky to get away with that not being a free hit. It was down leg side, it was high, it was wide. Well kept by Travis Ling. Diplock needs to get it into his head now that I've got to get the ball down. Get on the stumps. Bowl stump to stump. That's a better ball. Dispatched out to mid-wicket. Fieldsman running around Cox. Cox gets it, returns it. But looks like it could be overthrow here. Cox did a great job. No, they've only got the 2. And that's good backing up down there by Steve Ling. Diplock. That's a better line, a better length from Diplock. They're not even going to get this on. They're not even going to take the single. Diplock, the athlete, runs really quickly to get that and restricts him. Batsman doesn't seem to be happy with something. He's pointing at something on the outfield, but I don't know what it is. Afghan Warriors still going on at a good clip. The job for the Greenhills Giants now will be to try and restrict them to probably less than 160, 165. Once again, dispatched out to mid-wicket, out to the boundary. Cox slides around, picks it up. They take the 2 this time. Hamid Ahmed, 20 off 12. He wanted to maintain the strike. He wanted to really push for that 2. Anwar Hashimi, 9 off 4. They have slowed things down a little bit, the Giants. That's not a bad ball. Just over pitched. Dispatched down to long on. Jesse Varley. He's quick, falls over. Still fields the ball, and they'll get 2. So that's with 14 overs. Afghan Warriors. I'll now be looking at the 160 plus. Greenhills Giants, they'll be hoping that this last over doesn't get dispatched for too many. But they'll have no say in that because Afghan Warriors, 14 overs, 3 for 149 with wickets in hand. Slight wind here today at Runaway Bay, but still very humid out there. Jesse Varley to bowl the last over. He needs to be spot on here. It's a good start. They don't even take a single. This point of the game, they need to be taking those singles, even if it's just off the wicket. The non-striker really wanted it, and he's not happy. Comes down the wicket, gets beaten. That could be a stumping. It is. Great stumping by Travis Ling, the Greenhills Giants captain. The batsman probably should have run that last ball, and he wouldn't have been on strike. Comes down the wicket, didn't pick it. Jesse Varley pulls it down a little bit quicker. Travis Ling, great hands, takes off the bails. That's put the Afghan Warriors now at 4 for 149 off 14.2 overs. Hamid Ahmed is still in there at 22 off 13, and the new batsman will be Bilal Hashimi. Jesse Varley's figures improved to 1 for 22, but this is too late for the Greenhills Giants. The run rate got away from them, but they've got a bat yet, so they'll be confident in their batting. They just need to control this last couple of balls and try and keep the score below 160. Projected score is 155, but if they start getting onto it, it can improve from that. Greenhills Giants, they'll be thinking to themselves, no, I want to keep you below 160. Jesse Varley waiting for the new batsman. Bilal Hashimi taking strike. Not even marking where he wants to bat. Oh, and he pulled that wide. I think he was a bit concerned because the new batsman looked like he was going to wind up, so that's a wide ball. Jesse needs to fix this up. Bilal Hashimi, 261 matches, 241 innings, 3,400 runs. He's got it. That could be a second stumping. It is. It's a second stumping to Jesse Varley. Travis Ling, once again, great hands. Excellent keeping by Travis Ling. That's 2 stumpings within 3 balls. This is exactly what the Greenhills Giants will want. Jesse Varley, once again, that's 2 balls. He's now pulled down quick, and it's worked. Beating the batsman, good keeping. Stumps are broken by the keeper. Brilliant stuff. Greenhills Giants would have liked this about 5 or 6 overs ago. Projected score now reduced down to 154, but with 2 balls remaining, and the last ball being, if it goes for a maximum, that can be worth 12 runs. Jesse will be knowing that, and I don't doubt he'll be talking to the umpires and asking, when's the last ball, because I've really got to bowl that ball tight. That's got to be a good ball. You don't want to see that one go over the fence. Hamid Ahmed's now 22 off 13. Shafullah Fakiri, the new batsman. Only 2 balls. He'll only have to face 2. He might only have to face 1. Non-striker Ahmed will be keen to get down there, and they'll be trying to run 1 on anything here, whether it's even near missed, but if Link can take it, another stumping, it'll be interesting. Goes the big slog, and they did want the 1, but he hadn't teed it up with with the new batsman. I would have been pulling that up and saying, we're going for 1. 220 matches for Kiri, 272 innings, 4,600 runs, average of 24. There's the last ball. He's gone for the big one, didn't get onto it. They're going to have to run 2 here. They've got to run 2 here. He didn't realise it was the last ball of the innings, I don't think. And that's gifting the Greenhill Giants. Only 1 run. But they end up on 5 for 151 off 15 overs, the Afghan Warriors. Idris Hashimi retired 53 off 27, an excellent knock by Idris. Mahib Hashimi, 47 off 21. Ahmed Jawad, just lost the stats there. We'll get them back in a minute. We'll come back here for the innings of the Greenhills Giants against the Afghan Warriors. Afghan Warriors put in a massive score of 150 or 15 overs. Travis Ling, the captain, opens with David Cox. David Cox will take strike. No, David's given it to Travis to take strike. So the captain, Travis Ling, will take strike. Shafullah Fakiri will be the opening bowler for the Afghan Giants. They're a good all ahead of themselves here, the Greenhills Giants. Too many runs early on and in the middle stages. Even though the great comeback at the end there by Frost and Varley, they still put themselves under a lot of pressure. They're trying to chase 150. And that's a big score. Even on this ground, there's a lot of run on it, but they'll be needed to hitting the ball into gaps. They can't afford to be hitting the ball to players. Umpire scored time on. First ball. Lang just back cuts it. But good fielding placement. Backward point. Cuts it off for a single. So the Greenhills Giants run chase is underway. Travis Lang, 23 innings in 23 matches. 663 runs, average of 44. Strike rate of 148. He'll need to improve on that strike rate today. Into bowl. Good ball on the spot. All the batsman Cox can do is push it back to the bowler. They want to get a move on early, but they also know that they've got to maintain wickets. David Cox, 18 matches, 17 innings is 466 runs at 38. Wide outside off, but inside the line. It's a dot ball. Shafullah Fakiri, 320 games, 217 overs, 354 wickets, average of 21.9, economy rate of 6.6. He'll be able to maintain that sort of economy rate today, which will send him a long way towards the Afghan Warriors winning the game. In wide, not called again. Cox seemed to be swinging for that well outside off stump, but hasn't been called by the umpire. So Cox will have to be made aware of that he can't afford to let those go and miss them. Bowler in again. On the spot. Was down leg side, but another dot ball. That's a great over by the Afghan Warriors, by Fakiri. None for one off one. Greenhills Giants 1 over. No wicket for 1 run, but it's the runs that they require. Travis Ling 1 off 1. David Cox none off 4. New bowler, Bilal Hashimi. Target still 152. Hashimi into Travis Ling. Travis tries to back cut, but once again, the backward point, runs around a third man, fields it, gets it in, restricts the Greenhills Giants to just 1 run. Giants won't be happy with this sort of start. They need to be hitting the ball out of the middle almost from the onset and try and pierce the field. If they weren't piercing the field, they need to run hard. Cox sees it, swings it, puts it out through mid-wicket. It's running, but it's going to be pulled up by the fieldsman. Only 2 runs to Cox. But they'll need more of these twos. No, I'll need a lot of them if they're not going to be hitting boundaries. They do have a couple of boundary hitters in their team. It's just whether they can maintain a couple of wickets early on, so the middle order can unleash. In again, Cox sees it again, fields in too short on the leg side, but once again they only get the 2 runs. Travis Ling with a bit of a limp. It's going to be restricting him. Afghan team, they've got a deep backward point, short cover, deep mid off. They've got a mid on actually beside the bowler, and a mid off beside the bowler. So that's tempting to go over the top. This time Cox gets it away finer. He's hoping to run in the field, but it's slowing down. Once again, only 2 runs. 2's are handy. This is still restricting them. And they've got a short mid-wicket. So the Afghan Warriors are actually tempting the Greenhills Giants to go hard and go large early on. If they do, the fieldsmen will soon enough go back, but they're giving them the option and saying, we can try and restrict you here if you can't get the middle of the bat. Good ball. Yorker outside off. Cox tried to chop it down. Fine. Down to third man. Couldn't do it. End of the second over. Greenhills Giants. None for 8. Well behind the run rate already. Bilal Hashimi. None for 7 off 1. Greenhills Giants require 144 off 65 balls. Although they've been getting 2s, the last 10 balls don't look good. Single. 5 dot balls, a single, 3 2s and a dot ball. It's not something you want in LMS. You need to be turning the strike over. Fakirian again. Ling pushes it out through deep extra cover. Coming back for the second. Captain, even with the limp, he knows he's got to guts this out. 2 runs. He needs to run 2s. David Cox, 6 off 8. Travis Ling, 4 off 3. They need to up the ante shortly, even though there's only a couple of overs gone. Ling out through mid-wicket. Short mid-wicket cuts it off, just a single. Good fielding there. Good bowling by the Afghan Warriors. Greenhills Giants require 141 off 63 balls. It's not a good look for the Greenhills Giants. Moves into Cox. Cox straight back down the ground. That's what he wanted. Has he got enough on it? Great off drive there by David Cox. And over the boundary for 4 runs. So that's something the Greenhills Giants require a lot more of. Due to the run chase they've set themselves, they need to hit a lot of those. Shapula Fakiri, Lund for 8 off 1.3, won't be happy with that. But this will push the field back shortly. If they get a couple more like that, the field will go right back. The field's still a bit short. Batsman waiting for the fielder to get in place. David Cox takes strike. And picked off, picked down fine, beautiful shot. 4 runs. A couple of 4s, that's helped the Greenhills Giants. They'll require a lot more of that. But that, over-pitched, on legs. David Cox just dispatches it down there, fine. Excellent batting here at the moment. Giants trying to show the Afghan Warriors that they're not afraid of going for these sort of runs. If they can start picking them off, it'll put a little bit of worry into the Afghan Warriors' mindset. And again to Cox. Slow ball. Cox sees it, but all he can do is dispatch it out to wide mid-on, mid-off for a single. And that's into the third over. Travis Ling, 5 off 4. David Cox, 15 off 11. Both not out. The run rate's not getting away from him at the moment, but when they started this innings, they were chasing a run rate of 10 and over to get to 150. They're currently sitting at about 7 and over. But anything can happen in cricket. We've seen it. The Glenn Maxwells of the world, they can turn nothing into something. Bilal Hashimi, number 7 off 1, resumes bowling. Umpires don't seem to be happy with something. And I think it's because they had 4 on the offside. When after 3 overs, unlike when it's a 20 over game, you've got a 4 over power play. In the 15 over format, it's only 3 and they had 4. Cricket ball beats him. Good ball by Bilal Hashimi. He'll be having to send down a lot more of those. David Cox needs to adjust. And Cox is the sort of batsman that can adjust. He's got a very good technique, and hopefully he'll be able to pick up this line and length and dispatch him over cover. Oh, one down, leg side on the pads. Cox misses it. It's another dot ball. Afghan Warriors will be happy with this. Greenhills Giants will be the exact opposite. Hashimi in the bowl. Cox, that's well dug out. It's just a single. That was a good ball, not much you could do. Has a shot at the stumps. The bowler misses. Knew where his fieldsman was, knew that it was backed up, could have the shot. Travis Ling back on strike. Captain, he'll be having things go good for a little while here. All he can do is push it on the offside to short cover, and that restricts him to a dot ball. They've got some power in their middle order, but they'll be hoping they can put on a start. Ling faces it, gets it just short of a length. All he can do is pull it to short, mid-on. Fielder has a shy, knowing that Ling's struggling. Misses. Well backed up again. That's one thing the Afghan Warriors are doing. Even though they're in a little bit from the field, they're backing up every throw. That allows the fielder that receives the ball to have the shot at the stumps, possible run out, and if it misses, doesn't go for any extra overthrows. 4 overs, Greenhills Giants, number 22. Shafullah Fakiri back on, none for 13 off 2. Quite economical. Giants need to actually take an over or two apart here, but they'll just decide which bowler they can take to, and they need to hit the middle of the bat. Hashimi into Ling. It's a full toss, but all he can do is dispatch it out to cover and jog through for an easy single. But the Giants require more than that. They require a lot more than just singles. They require boundaries. Fast outfield, but they're not quite getting in the middle of the bat. It has been good bowling though. I'll give the Afghan Warriors that. Hashimi into Cox. Cox swings hard, but just down to backward square. Only the single. And once again, good backing up by the Afghan Warriors team. Ling receives it, goes out, a bit harder, but not hard enough. They're probably going to have to run 2 here, and they have. Well run. Fielder throws to the keeper's end, but both batsmen are in safe. Giants off 4.3 overs, number 26. They need to hurry this along a little bit. Travis Ling, 9 off 8. David Cox, 17 off 15. It's been good bowling. Fakiri again. It's hit high and in the offside. The fieldsman come around, is underneath it. And he's taken it. That's a wicket. Travis Ling departs for 9 off 8. Greenhills Giants will go 1 for 26 off 4.4. They didn't need that. Fakiri 1 for 17 off 2.4 overs. The Giants require 26 runs off 51 balls. The strike rate is starting to get a little bit away from the Greenhills Giants. They do have some power, but the bowling requires the power batsman to be able to get bat to ball. All the fielders for the Afghan Warriors have come in to congratulate the wicket taker, having a chat, having a talk. I don't doubt they'll be talking about let's just keep restricting these Giants, and they won't be able to do anything in the middle to late order. That'll be their mindset. The Greenhills Giants' mindset will be the exact opposite. We need to get bat to ball and bat to ball hard and get some runs. Start getting boundaries. Next man in will be Dan Bailey. been hitting the ball quite well. Powerful player once he gets going, but he needs to pick this up early. Follow Query just adjusting his field. He's got the short mid wicket, short mid on, deep, long off. And the two on the offside are also short, only halfway to the fence if that. Backward point and cover. Dan, it's the first one along the ground. It's going to be a dot ball though. So the Afghan Warriors are really putting the pressure on the Giants here. They've got the field halfway on both sides. And that's really saying to the Giants, if you can go over, you'll get the boundaries. But they can also put their fielders out on the boundary. And that'll restrict Greenhills later in the innings. But at the moment, they're putting the pressure on them and they've given them the option. Go high and hard, good luck. David Cox 17 off 15, Dan Bailey none off 1. Greenhills Giants after 5, 1 for 26. Already about 24 runs behind the run rate required. Last 10 balls, not a good look for the Greenhills Giants. Almost a picket fence of singles. Congratulations again to Yenar Beer, who are sponsors of the World Championships this year. All the players, all the officials appreciate Yenar Beer sponsoring this year. Cox goes high and hard. Fieldsman coming around underneath it, but lets it bounce. Both fieldsmen had a chance there, but I think both of them believed the other one had it. No one called the ball. They both slowed down. The ball bounced in between them. So a single to Cox. Bilal Hashimi, none for 10 off 2.1. He's bowling well. Inside edge by Bailey. Down behind the keeper, but they'll only get single. Keeper looks quick. Runs back. Returns it into the bowler. So he must be doing a little bit with the ball, Hashimi. And there is a little bit of movement in the air, we've been told today by a couple of other teams that have played. So maybe just getting that movement where you can't quite get bat to ball. Not the middle of the bat anyway. Bilal Hashimi in again. Cox. Oh, swing and a miss. He won't be happy with that. I think Cox has made up his mind after getting a bit of a chance there. He needs to go, and he needs to go hard. But the bowlers have the opposite mindset. He doesn't want to give away nothing. Oh, onto him quickly. Hurried him up. All he could do was pull it out. Short mid-wicket for single. Might be a deceptive bowler, Bilal. I think he's bowling a little bit quicker than what we can see out here, and it's coming onto the batsmen a little bit quicker than they think. Hashimi getting ready to come in once again to Dan Bailey. Dan cross bats it out to mid-off, deep mid-off, but he hit it so well it's only going to be a single. And where the Afghan Warriors were piercing the field, and if they didn't pierce the field they were putting it in between fieldsmen, the Greenhills Giants somebody just putting it straight to the fieldsman. Fakiri 1 for 17 off 3. Bilal Hashimi none for 13 off 3. Ahmed Jawad, none for none. There's a new bowler, 6 for 130. David Cox 19 off 18. Daniel Bailey 2 off 3. Bailey on strike. Push it out through cover. I'm sure he'll want 2 here, and he's going to get it. Deep mid-off moves around, fields the ball, holds it in. I think the Afghan Warriors are feeling comfortable here. They know that strike rate's getting well out of hand. And then they can push their field back also. Another good ball, but down leg side. That's a wide. It's been called a wide. Full toss down leg side. You need to drag them down a little bit because that was almost a no ball wide. Jawad in. Releases. Just pushed through the covers by Dan Bailey. So each bowler for the Afghan Warriors has opened their spell quite well. And that'll be unsettling for the Greenhills Giants. Bailey on strike again. And bowled. Middle stump. Pitched on middle stump. A little bit short of a length, but stayed low. Dan played across the line. Missed it. And got bowled middle stump. Jawid, 316 matches, 882 overs, 215 wickets. Afghan Warriors feeling confident now. It's not the start that the Greenhills Giants would have wanted. 6.3 overs gone, 2 for 33. They need to be up in the area of 60 runs there. It's been excellent bowling. It's been a good all-round effort actually by the Afghan Warriors. Batting, fielding and bowling. They've been top-notch. Especially in these oppressive conditions of humidity. The heat would be actually glaring out there. It's very hot. It'll be about 32 degrees I think out in the middle. And not out batsman David Cox, 19 off 18. He'll be starting to feel the heat now. Joe with 316 matches, 880 overs, 215 wickets, average of 27.5. Economy of 6.7, best 4 for 9. New batsman Jesse Varley. Jesse sees the first ball, pushes it to cover. They're looking at a single, but it's got to go back. Now they get the overthrow. That's good calling by Cox. Good response by Varley. Runs like a greyhound. So Cox, as hot as he is, he's still keen to go for those quick singles. Turn the strike over Varley. 30 games, 28 innings is 856 runs. He's scored quite a few runs. All Cox can do there is push it down the mid-off. Best of 64 for Varley. Just the end of the 7th over. Greenhills Giants 2 for 38. David Cox 20 off 19. Jesse Varley 4 off 1. New bowler will be Saifullah Hashimi. He'll be trying to continue what they've started here. Good first over bowling. Run rate, it's getting up there. Greenhills Giants require 114 off 40 balls. Full toss straight off. Did Cox get in the middle of the bat? I think he's just chipped it over the top. They're only going to get 2. Yeah, we disappointed Cox in that. He would like to get out of the middle of the bat and put it over the bowler's head. Just a little bit too high, come onto him a little bit too fast. So not a good ball, but he got away with it. Saifullah Hashimi. And that one's been hit, but as he got onto it, I don't think he's quite got it, so it's not going to go for 4 or 6. First one falls over. That doesn't help. They're going to get 2 runs. Just the timing for Cox just seems to be slightly off. He's seen it early, hit it early, but it went up in the air and then plugged when it got into the outfield. It was too high. Encouraging for the Greenhills Giants though. One of the bowlers starting to struggle for the Afghan Warriors. And that one's flicked down to fine leg. 4 runs. Glorious shot there by Cox. Glorious. He'll be happy with that. But he'll know that he needs a lot more of those. David Cox, 28 runs off 22 balls. Strike rate of 127. His strike rate needs to move up there. 3 4s. No 6s. Saifullah Hashimi, 110 matches. 261 overs. 54 wickets. Average of 39. Economy of 8.12. Best of 4 for 13. So once again, the Afghan Warriors, their bowlers have got some good figures, but it looks like they can be tapped at a little rate at times. And the Giants need to do that. They need to tap them at a large rate. Cox facing, lets it go. It's got to be wide, he's thinking, it is wide. He would have been disappointed if that wasn't called a wide. He actually left it. Cox gets it and hits it squarer, and that's going to be 4 more runs. I think the fieldsman's given it up. It's going to be another 4 to David Cox. It's good batting. He knows that things have got to get moving. If they don't start moving soon, they're in a lot of trouble. They've moved the fieldsman out there now deep for the pull shot. And actually that's exactly where he goes, but he goes on the mid-wicket and he takes another 4. So that's another good shot. I don't doubt the Afghan Warriors will be thinking about putting a couple of men now on the boundary on that onside. See, Fuller Hashimi seems to be straying down the leg side, and that suits the Greenhills Giants batsman. They move on to 8 overs. 2 for 55. David Cox, 37 off 25. Jesse Varley, 4 off 1. So Fuller Hashimi, none for 17 off 1. Quite expensive. Got dispatched there a couple of times. Greenhills Giants require 97 off 35 balls. Still things are getting away from them. All they can do at the moment is hope they get some bad balls and dispatch them away. It's easy to say, but it's not that easy to do. They send to the 8th over and also the change of ends. Hopefully a few of the Greenhills Giants in the sponsors box. Dave Ling, Andrew Cox, Nathan Chappell, even Ryan Neal, who had to depart up here unfortunately. Playing well when he was playing, Ryan, but he had to go home. I think there was a work emergency. But shout out to you boys anyway. I think Jason Pascoe's out there too. Ahmed Jiwad, 1 for 8. Economical figures. You want to do some damage. Varley sees it, hits it. He's a good hit of the ball, but it's gone over the fieldsman's head. Lucky there, and it's gone for 4 runs into the mid-wicket fence. Jesse hits a nice ball, but that one must have just held up a little bit, and the fieldsman wasn't deep enough. I'm sure the Afghan Warriors will now start realising that maybe some of their fieldsmen need to be right near the fence. Varley on strike. Goes hard. Swing and a miss. He's got to get back to ball. They've done well. The last 5 balls have been 4 wicket. 4 wide. 4-4-4. Greenhills Giants will be hoping for more of that. Jawed in to bowl. Varley sees it. Just tries to back cut it, but gets in, I think, a bottom edge. Down to fine leg. Cox is starting to feel the heat. Is he going to go for 3? Yes. And Varley will make it to the bowler's end easy. And Cox, great running. He'll be sucking them out there. He would be oppressive to someone that's been out there for 25 balls. Cox now on 37 off 25. Jesse Varley 11 off 4. Greenhills Giants 8.3 overs 2 for 62. Ahmed Jawad into bowl again. Cox back over the bowler's head, but there's a fieldsman out here running in. Not quick enough. It's pulled up short. Straight down to mid-on. The mid-on was finally back on the fence and realised that he couldn't get to it. Slight miss hit, but he's going well, David Cox. Greenhills Giants require 89 off 31 balls. Varley gets good ball, pushes it into the onside, and they don't even think about having 2 runs. Bowler goes and fields it off his own bowling. Travis Ling 9 off 9, David Cox 38 off 26. Dan Bailey 5 off 7, Jesse Varley 12 off 5 at the end of the over. 9 overs gone, Greenhills Giants 2 for 64. David Cox 38 off 26, Jesse Varley 12 off 5, requiring 88 off 30 balls. A tall order, a big ask, but can the Giants try and attack this scoreline? Anwar Hashimi, new bowler on the bowl. Target's 152. The Giants would like to go past the halfway mark before the 9th over. Well before it, a couple overs before. But we'll see what happens. Varley on strike to Anwar Hashimi. Looks like a medium pace bowler just outside off stump. Try for the big covered drive from Varley. Didn't quite get onto it. Just missed it. That's a good opening ball. Is he going to keep it there? Jesse will adjust if he keeps in that same spot, and he'll go deep over cover. If he puts it on the stumps, Jesse will probably try and put him down to long on. And there he goes, straight over the bowler's head, running back to get it. It's going to pull up short. Once again, it plugs in the ground. They've only got 2. That's exactly what Varley was after there. The big shot over mid-on. Didn't quite get hold of it. Varley's still on strike. Anwar Hashimi, the bowler. He'll be hoping for something in his wheelhouse, Varley. Normally likes going over mid-on and mid-wicket. You'll see his unique batting stance. He actually faces towards mid-wicket, but that's his style and he bats well like it. Varley sees it, misses it. He was going big. Almost in his wheelhouse. Whether he pushed through that too quick, I think the ball was too quick for him. Not many pace bowlers can beat Varley when he's at his best. The faster you bowl, the faster he hits, and the longer he hits. That was a good ball. I think they might have been a little bit of bat maybe in that. Might have been bat on the pad. We'll see what the umpire says. They're going to run 3. So I didn't see. No, yes, he's called it as leg boys, so he didn't hit it at all. Just leg boys, 3 leg boys. And Hashimi, 264 matches, 687 overs, wickets 144, average of 34, economy of 7.27, best of 4 for 8. 7 3-wicket innings. Into Cox. Another good ball. Just outside off stump. Yorker length. They're doing this well. I'd say they've played LMS quite a bit, the Afghan Warriors, and they know where to pitch the ball up when the team's chasing runs. They're putting it just outside off stump on a full length. Cox looks, pulls it towards mid-wicket. They'll only get 1 there. Felsman comes in hard. Anwar Hashimi, none for 4 off 1. Greenhills Giants require 81 off 25 balls. They're currently 2 for 71 in the 10th after 10 overs. So things starting to get a little bit away from them. But they're going hard at the ball. If they can get hold of a couple, especially if they can get a couple of maximums, that'll bring things back into place. But at the moment, I think they're going too hard and not getting onto the ball out of the middle of the bat. Moheb Hashimi, his first over of the day. David Cox 39 off 28. Jesse Varley 15 off 9. Giants 2 for 71 after 10. Cox on strike. Oh, that's not a bad ball, but it's down leg side. That's quite a good ball. There was an appeal. Thought he might have put a bit of bet on that, but he didn't. 81 off 24 balls. That's a very tall order. Very tall order. Oh, straight through Cox again. Just 1 into the offside. He's been out there for a while, David Cox. 40 runs off 30 balls. Strike rate of 133. Strike rate's a little bit down. 5 fours. He'd like to be hitting the ball a little bit better out of the middle of the bat. But you can only bat as well as the bowlers will allow you at times. And they're not being allowed the Greenhills Giants to get away. Varley on strike. Just pushes it back. Only for a single. Cover comes round to the mid-off area. Retrieves it. Underarms it back to the bowler. Only a single. Mahib Hashimi, 188 matches, 442 overs, 124 wickets, average 25, economy of 7, best 4 for 6. Cox on strike again. Gets hold of this one. That's gone long, long, long. Another glorious shot by David Cox. Can we move on to 46 off 31? That was a long bomb. He'll be really happy with that. 6 runs signalled by the umpire. He'll be really happy with that, David Cox. Doesn't want to run after this heat, so get him over the boundary. Needs a few more like that. Waits, slow ball. Pulled down to mid-wicket just for a single. Jesse Varley on strike. The last ball of the Moeeb. Hashimi's over. He's gone for it, but only all he's done is pulled it round towards mid-wicket. Only the single. We're sorry at the moment. We've had a little bit of audio problems. I've been advised. The technician's going up to have a look at the camera. Apparently the sound is still going, so I'll try and keep you updated with what's going on. 11 overs gone, Greenhills Giants 2 for 82. They're about 30 odd runs behind their run rate that they need, but I'm sure they won't lay down and they won't die wondering. And while Hashimi moves in to Varley, Varley pulls it across the line, only gets a single. He's looking at 2. And it's gone into the fence. So it was a good shot. Fieldsman seemed to be trying to cut that down. Couldn't get to it. Jesse Varley moves up to 21 off 12. David Cox 48 off 32. Target of 152. Greenhills require 66 off 19 balls. Keeper picking up the ball, returning it down to the bowler. Not much going on here at the moment. Bowler just waiting. Field still in on the offside. And that's where Varley pushes it. Knowing with his speed he should be able to get an easy 2, which he does. Varley, though, I think will start looking for the long bombs very shortly. He knows 4s and 6s are the way to go. And Hashimi none for 10 off 1.2. They'll need to take him apart if there's any chance. Oh, Varley goes a skyer over mid-off. I think that's going to go all the way. That's 6 runs. That's what he can do. He can't bowl anywhere in his wheelhouse once he gets going, and he'll hope to keep going. Fieldsman wasn't happy. He was well away from that. He was never going to get anywhere close to stopping that or cutting it off. Even though it just went over the boundary, they were nowhere near it. And now they've decided to push mid-off all the way back onto the fence. And a deep extra cover. Just to be more likely looking at mid-on and mid-wicket. He stepped inside it and tried to push it out square. That's going to be another 4 runs to Varley. Varley's starting to hit his straps here. 33 off 15. Can you do a little bit? I was going to do the loo. I'll just be honest. Busted. I thought I'm not going to make it down there. Sorry about those technical difficulties there. A couple of things cutting out at times, but everything's back online now. I'm thinking Greenhills Giants 2 for 100 off 12. They require 52 runs off 15 balls. As we were talking about, that's a massive ask. Mahi Bashimi, none for 11 off 1 to resume the bowling. Cox, yes, he's been trapped in front. Got a Yorker. Looked like it was going down leg, but it must have been going to hit between middle and leg stump, or even leg stump. David Cox, very good innings. He would like to be a little bit quicker, but he's done excellent today. He batted a lot on the first game, and he's batted a long time here again today. Batted for 12.1 overs. Jesse Varley's still out there on 35 off 16, so he's hitting the ball well. Marty Blenman, also a big hitter, but he doesn't have time to get himself in here. The Greenhills Giants are going to require Marty to go big and go big early, but that puts a lot of pressure on him because the bowling's been quite good. Mahi Bashimi's 1 for 11 off 1.1. Target's 152. 52 off 14 balls. Warriors will still think they're doing it quite easy, unless there's a couple of big overs here, and they'll have to be really big. Farley's striking the ball really well. Marty Blemon just taking centre. But he doesn't have time to get himself in here, and that's always a danger in LMS when you come out with only a couple of overs to go, and you're required to go straight off the bat. Moves into Blenman. Oh, and it's got inside him. I think it was an inside edge. Back onto the stumps. Bowled him first ball. Moi Pashimi will be on a hat-trick. Marty won't be happy there. Blenman just deceived by the pace. Came back in. I think he got an inside edge. Bowled him middle and off stump. Giants have been reduced to 4 for 100 off 12.2. Afghan Warriors will be starting to smile now, thinking that they've got everything in hand. 52 off 13 balls. That's going to be a lot of boundaries required. A lot of boundaries. And even with this oppressive heat, the fieldsmen will be feeling it. But seeing the runs needed, they'll be running out in the field and they'll just keep running and running hard. Tommy Foster will be the new batsman in, I believe. And Tommy to face a hat-trick ball. The Afghan Warriors, I think, will move the field in close, hoping for a hat-trick. Foster will need to know that with the field in very close, he's going to need to get behind the ball, don't step away. Step into the ball, defend it. And it'd be even better if you got a boundary, but it's a big ask to be saying on a hat-trick ball, get out there and hit a boundary, Tom. But Tom, in his wheelhouse, can hit a ball and hit it a long way. Hashimi in for the hat-trick ball. Frost sees it, hits it all right. He's going to call for the 2, I think. Frost wants 2. These guys, one's a greyhound, the other one's a jackrabbit. They run really fast. And that's 3 runs. Great start for Frost. Tom Frost, 54 matches, 42 innings, 556 runs, average of 15.44, strike rate of 120, best of 57. He's been batting a lot better than that in the last 12 months. He'll be trying to turn 1s into 2s, 2s into 3s. Even though they're well behind, it won't worry Frost. Little jackrabbit will run all day. No fear from Farley. It won't worry him that there's been a couple of wickets in the over. If he gets one in his wheelhouse, he will go for it. There he goes. High and hard. Over the boundary. A long way over the boundary. And that's 6 runs. That's what we were saying. No fear. Step into it. 6 runs. Farley, 41 runs off 17 balls. Strike rate of 241. 3 4s, 2 6s. Giants would have liked a couple of players with those figures at the moment, but you can only deal with what you got. Varley on strike again. Bowler comes in. Varley goes big again, but has he got this one? I don't think he's got it well enough. Fields been coming around, getting underneath it. Fields got it, and it's been dropped. They've run two. Dropped on the mid-off boundary. The fieldsman was there from the previous ball. Misjudged it, came in, went back out, came in, went back out, came in, dropped the ball. Fieldsman will be disappointed with that. Greenhills Giants move on to 13 overs, 4 for 111. Jesse Varley, 43 off 18. Tom Fox, 3 off 1. Mahib Shishimi, 2 for 22 off 2. 41 runs required off 10 balls. That's a very, very big ask. Massive ask. But the Giants won't go down without trying. I'm pretty sure they won't stop here. Even if they fall a couple of runs short, they'll go hard. Might cost them wickets, but I don't think they'll worry about that too much. Varley almost retired too. Frost, swing and a miss. Just outside off. Well within the line. Tom hasn't picked up the pace of this pitch and he's swinging too hard. He needs to adjust that. And just slow down slightly. Pick the line on length. Try and pick the speed. Dispatch it. This time he does see it alright, but all he can do is push it down past the bowler for a single. Brings Varley back on strike. And I'm sure Varley will be looking at 50 runs. 43 off 18. Giants 13.2 overs, 4 for 112. And the all fielders now on the boundary riding. Oh, and Jesse gets a slow ball. It was well done by the bowler. He's throwing the really slow ball. Jesse stepped across but swung and hadn't picked that there was a slow ball. Put in his wheelhouse though. And that's well outside off stump. All he can do is pull it down to mid-on. They're going to run two. Well run by the Giants. Bowler got away with one there. Put in the wrong spot. All they could do was drag it down for 2 runs. Jawid to Varley. Varley sees it, hits it. There's a fielder there, but he doesn't even move 2 feet and doesn't even get close to it. That'll be 6 runs. It's been signalled 6. He's pulled that. Jesse Varley, I think, has got to retire now. 51 runs off 21 balls. An excellent effort. Great innings. Strike rate of 242. 3 4s, 3 6s. He's just been advised by the umpire now that he's got to go off, and Jesse won't like that. He'd love to stay out there. He was enjoying the heat. He was enjoying the chase. Unfortunately, he's got to go off. And that'll bring, I think, Jared Diplock out the bat. The athlete. Once again, another guy that needs to get in for a couple of balls to get going, but hasn't got that available to him today. Greenhills Giants 4 for 120 off 14 overs. They require 32 off 5 balls. And that may be taken away from them, unfortunately. But it's been some good fielding and some good bowling by the Afghan Warriors after putting on a great batting display. In response, the Greenhills Giants haven't gone away. They haven't made doozy on them. The Warriors, I think, would have thought that it's going to be an early day today. And then they've seen how some of the batsmen from the Greenhills Giants were. They're not timing it. They weren't going away. They were going to give it everything they've got. Tommy Frost on strike. Hashimi, 2 for 22 to bowl. Frost, swing and a miss. It's gone past the keeper. Keeper's going to have to chase this. These two guys, the Jackrabbit and the Greyhound, they'll run as many as they can. Got a definite 3. Oh, sorry, Diplock is now running with Frost. The athlete and the Jackrabbit. Apologies for that. Giants move on to 4 for 123 off 14.1. 4 balls remaining. They need a couple of no balls here. And then a big 12 off the last ball. And Jared Diplock has won a game on the last ball. They only required 4. But there was some good bowling that day, and Jared put it away for 4 and won the game. Oh, swing and a miss. Trying to pick up the pace of this pitch in the heat. That's the problem. Diplock, 11 matches, 9 innings, 149 runs, average of 37, strike rate of 169. So his strike rate's up there. He's best of 54, and he's had 150. And that was at 54. Diplock waiting. Sees it. All he can do is push it down to the offside. Well fielded by the mid-off. And return to the bowler. So things all but over now for the Greenhills Giants. Unfortunately, they put up an effort. It wasn't a walkover, and that's what they'll be hoping for. That all their games so far have been good. Tommy Frost steps outside, not called a wide, gone down past the keeper again. They'll take the single, leaving Jared Diplock. And that has been called a wide, so that's good. That's another ball. Greenwich Giants 4 for 126 off 14.3 overs. Still 2 balls to go. Tom Frost 6 off 5. Jared Diplock 1 off 2. Jared can sometimes get his iron really early, and I'm hoping that he can do that now with only 2 balls to go and show us what he can do. He can muscle the ball and muscle it really well. Waiting the bowling of Mohib Hashimi, who has 2 for 25 off 2.3. No, got bowled. Tried to go too hard. But that was the idea. He didn't mind. He wasn't going to be stuck out there hitting singles or having a swing. He'd rather have a go for the big boundary. Missed it, got bowled. Tom Frost 6 off 5. New batsman Steve Ling. Steve's batted quite a bit, but doesn't get many runs, but also doesn't get out very often. He's something like 14 innings, 10 not outs, but most of them between 1 and 5. He's had the odd one. I think he had 17 in one innings, and he actually hit a 12 that day. But he's not really a 12 hitter, and he won't be on strike for the last ball. Tom Frost. So unless there's a wide and they run a single, or a no ball, and they run a single, Steve won't get to have the strike again. That'll be 2 innings out here in 3 games that Steve's been up at the non-striker's end for the last ball and didn't even get to face a ball. I know, but he will. Steve will get to face 1 ball. Taking centre. I'm sure his captain would have told him just swing for the rafters. And pushed it to the offside. They're going to take a single. And that's the end of the Giants run chase, unfortunately. 226. 5 for 127. Ended up about 25 runs shy. And that's unfortunate, but they did well. Weren't all out. Put in a good effort. Greenhills Giants, after 15 overs, 5 for 127. Fell 25 runs short. But still a good day. The boys will be happy, and they've got to play again tomorrow. So, from everyone here at Runaway Bay, thanks for listening. Hello to Yeah Nah Beer again, once again for sponsoring the World Championships. And this is Mick Ling from the Greenhills Giants, signing off once again.